ultimate dreams right there is to like have like basically like breed a bunch of like unidentified people with no birth certificates, like bunch of Jason Bournes, and just fucking unleash them on society, dude.
Jesus
You
Christ.
get away with like serious
God,
crimes.
I had 100 people that were just completely like fucking brainwashed, like Islamists, you know. There's no unthinkingly, no questions asked. 100 people, dude. I could get a police state. I swear to God, I could get this bitch in a police state. 100 people.
I doubt it. They'd probably be spending all their time looking for their next meal.
Oh fuck.
Shit.
You okay with that, Shamos? Sounds like you're eating. You eating?
Yeah, yeah. I'm eating right now, bro. Life's good.
Yeah. Well, how'd you do that?
This morning, my friend bought me breakfast, and he also bought me lunch, and then he lent me $20, and so I'm fucking straight hood rich.
Wow.
But I'm not even really listening to the droning of irrelevant women speaking in my ear. I mean, I didn't mean to call her a woman. I meant to say female. I don't ever call them women because that's an insult to men. Because whoa, men, and no, they're female.
Oh,
And I know I already understand you're gonna say, isn't male in there too? No, but the thing is, it's like you're a man.
Yeah, you're a man. You figured out how you went out there. You're surviving, man. You're gonna make it. What are you gonna eat tomorrow?
Oh shit.
I'm gonna fucking spend some of that $20. I'm gonna eat tomorrow. Life's gonna be good.
Ah.
Till you run out of money and then you die.
Yeah, Molly.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, Molly. Yeah. Yeah, Molly.
Oh my
Then
god.
after that,
I mean, I'm saying that maybe
Well,
2 weeks I
at
can
some
put a little
point-
more pressure down on my foot, and then I'm gonna go hit up this fishing spots in 2 weeks. So I mean, you know, I'm gonna make it, Molly. I love how you keep questioning
Oh,
my
I know you're
survival
gonna
skills.
make it. I know how you're gonna make it, and I see how you're surviving. And bravo to you. You are a true survivalist. Fantastic work.
Yep.
You know,
I'm not too
Shamos,
proud
I
of
was
that.
thinking about you yesterday, bud. I was like, what is he gonna eat tomorrow? You know,
Bro,
the day after.
I am not too proud to beg. I'm really not. That just shows that's a character flaw. If you got too much pride, you never
Are
do
you
that.
too
That's
proud to
something
get
wrong
a
with
job,
you.
Shamos? I mean, like that would be
What?
the ideal outcome. Just like
I
get a
had
job.
a job until I got in a... Bro, you can't do landscaping work with a fucking multiple fractured leg. Oh shit, I'm gonna spit something up there. You can't do that, man.
I thought about
So-
offering Shamos a Subway meal before.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Shamos is anti like free healthcare or not.
Shamos.
So.
Shamos is like the Christian version of Diogenes.
Yes, Shemos, did you contact Kathleen's wife to contact her mum?
No. I talked to my mom, and my mom said don't do that. I think my mom thinks that she's gonna handle all this with her attorney on retainer or whatever, and then magically when we get settlement, I'm gonna have to pay mom back all the thousands of dollars that I owe her. That's fucking ridiculous. But
So
I mean,
you're not doing anything.
well, I think my mom thinks like this is the only way I'm ever gonna pay her back all the thousands of dollars she lent me, and so she
I
wants
mean,
to
the check
control
wouldn't
this.
be made out to your mom to begin with anyway, so it doesn't matter what your
My
mom thinks.
mom has a joint bank account with me. I know
Okay.
that sounds kind of silly because I'm 34. You know, I can stand on my own 2 feet. But me and my mom have
Well,
always
I'll
had.
give you.
Jesus
I pulled a file today, Shamos, just to kind of try to get a reference, and it's an open case file right now where a woman got hit by a person who ran a red light, and we got them $470,000.
Are you suggesting that Shamos should commit insurance fraud?
No, Shamos
No, it's
already
already
got
happened.
hit, right?
No, no,
He already
he
got
said
hit.
he was hit.
Yeah,
Shamos,
the
you should
record
burn
of
your
shit.
boat, bud.
No, but just have
I'm-
your mum take care of it for you, darling, in your joint bank account. You go. Survivalist, you toe that shit right up.
I have to say that's impressive, though, Shamos. I have to give you that, bud. Like you making it this long, like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Touche.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was
just
I
make
was
sure
going on a
you.
sermon there. I was speaking for literally 5 minutes. I didn't know that I was muted. I was going on a straight sermon there.
Make
Where do I get back? Let me see where I can rewind this back to. You know what really
just
makes me sick? You know what really makes me fucking
Colin.
sick? It's when you have this British fucking cunt, right?
Oh, I knew
Sitting
he was
here.
gonna do it.
Yeah,
Okay? This
British
fucking
fucking
you know
cunt.
that wasn't permission to
You're
talk over me. That
British
wasn't permission to
fucking
talk over me.
cunt.
If you think you're not a
You
cunt, you
don't
won't be a
need
cunt after I'm
your
finished. Shut
permission,
up.
little
Do you
wanker.
need to be
No.
muted? Do you need to be
Yeah.
muted? Act like a civilized person. Fucking
Look,
I
cunt.
think he's
darling.
just. I think he's abusing the c word as if it's like going out of fashion. I think that's just highly distasteful.
Look, this British biatch, okay,
Biatch.
correction, really thinks that I have no
That makes it
worldly
more funny.
experience, I have no experience in nature, I have no survival skills on behalf of the fact that I got hit by a car, didn't work for 3 weeks, and bummed a Subway meal for my friends so I could eat. And all of a sudden, that disqualifies all the fucking knowledge in worldly and survival skills that I've acquired over the years. Is all moot in this dumb cunt's head because I fucking asked him to buy me a meal.
It's interesting that like kind of like
Seamus, you should be
3
grateful.
weeks out of work, and suddenly you're kind of on the street in America.
I am
That's just
fucking grateful. What do you think? Hold
You
on,
sound
bitch.
very entitled. You need to calm down and just move on, mate.
I sound entitled?
Well, see, part of
Yes.
what I find interesting
You
is
don't know,
that
Shamos. This is like
Shamos,
this
for
is
some
fun.
reason,
You better
thinks.
stop fucking with me.
Thank you for that. That Seamus thinks that part of being somebody who prepares for events that take place is merely him being able to walk to the nearest fishing hole and catch fish. Whereas what I had said, that had you been a true person that prepares himself for such events, that when you got into the accident, you would have had things set up to take care of you in the event that you
Right,
don't
yeah.
have
So let me
income.
get this straight. You're saying if I would have had a nest egg saved up for just such an occasion, such a rainy day fund, that would mean that I had better survival skills? Don't you realize that we're not talking about survival skills within the fucking modern fucking corporate society? When we say survival skills, we're not
No.
talking about those things. We're
Shamus, if you
talking
had a
about
broken leg in the wild, you'd be
In
dead
fact,
of
that
exposure.
your survival skills come down to this. You talked about how you have a ready supply of food and shelter, but yet you can't get to it. See, it's called contingency plans, and you don't know what those are, or you would not be in the shithole you're in now.
that's really rich from a woman that I know for a fact couldn't hold a candle to me in a survival situation. So like I'm just gonna take every fucking thing you say with a grain of salt, okay? Every fucking thing you say.
Okay.
Like no one,
So how long
if
would
you
you
ask
survive
all
if
these
you broke
people
your
in
leg
this
in the
room, right? If
wild?
you asked every single person in this room, right, and they were forced to bet all the money they had and all the assets, all their whole entire net worth, right, all depended on which one they would bet, who would survive longer in a survival situation. Shamos, the guy that lives on a boat who has videos of himself spearfishing fish out of the ocean, fucking has videos of himself catching fish, able to tie fishing knots that don't
Peeing in
come undone.
bottles.
Understand all this stuff, or fucking Molly.
It's on
Okay, which one
Instagram,
do you
guys.
think
So it
that they
must be
would
real.
bet? Which
All
one
right,
do you think?
guys,
Well, how
one
about
at a
we
time.
just raise the stakes and they have to bet their life as well? Okay, so here's the thing: do you think any fucking body in this room really would seriously consider that you have more survival skills? No one in this room thinks that. Only your fucking delusional ass.
You know somebody's biased when they list 50 reasons for themselves and don't list a single reason for the opposition.
She did
Yeah.
kill a mountain
I
lion
love you.
recently, didn't she? Oh.
Is it? I mean, do Instagram views count for money in this world?
I'm just saying, let's not kid ourselves. Let's not be liars. Let's not be dishonest.
No, we don't want to do that. That would be terrible. To be a liar and to confuse yourself and
You don't know
disillusion
anything about
yourself.
how to tie knots, basic shelter, primitive fire making. You know nothing. If I were to talk to you about some of the
No,
most
I
important
don't
knots that
know
are most
anything.
important knots in survival situations, you have no idea. You have what's a trucker's hitch? You have no
I
idea.
don't have
Okay? It's a
no
tension
idea
knot, okay?
whatsoever.
And that's what you can do to set up a fucking hammock, set up the opening line, top line to your tent, all that shit. That's a tension line. It's called a trucker's hitch. Google it, cunt. And then
Don't
also,
know
there's
what
like a
it
bunch of
is.
stuff that you need in survival situations,
There is.
like a prusik hitch. You have no
Like a
idea what
friend
a
you can
prusik hitch
call.
is. If you
Like a
fell down in
friend
a
you can
hole,
call. You know, a
if you
friend you
fell
can
down
ring
in
up
a
to
hole,
bring you
you would
food.
die. You don't even know what a prusik hitch is. You don't even know what a munter mule is. You have no idea what any of those knots are. These are some of the most important knots for any fucking serious survivalist.
Yeah.
You
right.
You have no idea. Someone asked me the other day how to make water on a desert island, and I told them the exact process to set up a conglomeration of what's called a solar still. Okay, and you
There
motherfuckers
is
are gonna
a
sit here and
stop
test
all
me.
in the chat.
So ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
There's a straw
ridiculous.
poll in the chat.
What's the best
Who
way
would
to invest in a
participate
bottle?
in the apocalypse, Shamos or Molly?
You
Vote
guys
now.
act like you're like peeing in a bottle nullifies anything that I just said. You guys are that retarded. Your only last
You were
card to
so
play is
fucking
some
salty
like
there.
passing insult that doesn't contact any of the things that I just said.
Yeah. You get me.
I mean, if you want to, if you have
Everybody,
any proof, you got videos of you catching fish or spear fishing, plucking your dinner off the bottom of the ocean 20 feet down. I mean, if you could talk about how to actually do things in survival situations, talk
How
about
many oceans are in the
necessary
city
knots.
you're in at the moment?
You couldn't even sit here and give us a
In the
seminar on any. That
mountains.
would be the most elementary, girly, bona fide fucking Girl Scout fucking cookie
He doesn't
fucking
even have a
survival
boat,
guide
though.
anyone's ever fucking heard.
Oh.
And on top of that, if we were in a survival situation, Molly, I would just snap your chicken neck and just eat you for the rest of the fucking couple months. That's the first thing I would do.
Oh my
Molly,
lord.
back on a desert island. The first thing I do, I don't even need to wait till she goes to sleep to hit her over the head with a rock. I just sheerly overpower, snap her chicken neck, and then I'm feasting for like the next month.
Yeah, I'm
okay?
really trusting you in a survival situation versus
I'll dry
Molly.
you out in the sun as jerky. Think I won't.
I know how to make a crawdad trap because that's what I have done. I'm not anywhere near the ocean, so if I dove down, I probably wouldn't be diving down too deep, especially in this river because it moves quite fast. It'd be quite hard to do, but I reckon I could muck up something to eat. Here in the mountains, you fucking donkey, where I'm nowhere near the ocean.
Yeah, what you don't realize is where I learned survival skills was in the Appalachian Mountains. So you think I actually prefer that because it's so much easier to get access to fresh water up in Appalachia. If you put me in Appalachia, there's no fucking chance. You have no chance at that point. You're fucking done. Okay? I actually know less about survival on the beach than I do in mountainous terrain. Okay? You don't even know anything about how to travel and traverse like high mountains safely. Like if you had to, I mean, have you ever heard of the guys that crashed in the Andes or whatever? They had to climb fucking like it was like 2,000 meter peak just to get over the next ridge or whatever. Like, I mean, do you know how far you'd be behind? You don't even know high mountain alpinism. You have no idea of what alpinism is. You just I can't even believe you're fucking talking to
You
me
mean
right now about this shit.
they acclimating to high altitudes? Is that what you're talking
You
about?
don't have to acclimate to a 2,000 meter peak.
I was just asking, is that what you were talking about?
Okay, like do you know what it is to have a person on belay? Do you know what belaying is? You probably don't. It's like one of the most basic things you can understand in rock climbing. Okay, I mean you probably don't even understand how that
now
basic
we've
works.
gone from your survival skills in the ocean to now your rock climbing.
Well, you're the one that was talking about I live in the mountains. Guess what, bitch? You want to talk about mountain survival? You want to talk about alpinism? You came to the right fucking place. You want to talk about the high mountains and what it takes to traverse alpine landscape safely? You came to the right person. You want to be like, "Oh, let's talk about the mountains." Yeah, let's fucking talk about the mountains, cunt.
Okay. Well, you done yet?
This
I
conversation.
hope this will be the last time you ever fucking call my shit into question.
Nah, we won't.
Like the Brenda of this shit.
You Brenda,
Get my authority.
When exactly did this war start between you two?
It started because I told Molly a true fact about the world, that I have way more survival knowledge than she does, and she was so pissed that she basically said, "I hope you fucking starve to death, motherfucker." And then she started using my financial situation as a way to impugn my survival skills, as if that had any bearing on what people mean by primitive survival skills. You know, it just the whole thing was a big mess.
Never said
Her
that.
little cunt
That's
heard
a
the truth,
lie.
and she didn't like what the
That's a
truth
lie.
was.
I never said that. Never once said I hope you starve to death. Now you're telling stories.
Butthurt little cunt that heard the truth and got upset.
I never once
All I
said
did was
hope
tell
you
her the
starve to
truth.
death.
It was like it
You
was basically the
did.
same thing. I told her a fact about the world, just like the
did.
sky is blue. Imagine saying the
You
sky is blue
did.
and Molly goes raging off the deep end and tells you she wants
all
you to
right, man.
starve.
I think we can give her the rest. Like
Yeah.
we've all heard it.
That's right,
There's a
Molly.
straw
Sit the fuck
poll.
down.
There's a straw poll. Hold on, Shamos. There's a straw poll in the chat. If you guys would all vote, we'll find out what the room thinks. Who would survive longer in the apocalypse, Shamos and Molly? Vote now.
Bro, it's like a self-evident fact. It's like
It is.
it's like why would you let even people troll vote on a self-evident fact? Like we don't need to even allow people to possibly
I
troll
mean,
vote. We
is
already
being
know
able to
what
raise your
reality
blood
is.
pressure to 180 over 190 in a stress situation a good thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Molly's a little bit more in control of her feelings when it comes to stressful situations, so that kind of plays into a survival thing a bit better.
Pretty sure I have like fucking a ton of testosterone coursing through my veins that puts me way above
Yeah, that's what
Molly
I'm
at like
worried
any
about.
given moment, any given situation. So she can be as cool and collected as she wants. It's fine. Lack of knowledge is what gets people killed, not being cool and calm and collected.
Mm.
Yeah, spearfishing is going to be really useful in the middle of a city.
Yeah, I don't specialize in urban survival. I never claimed to.
Oh.
Yeah, remember when Shamos was like the hurricane was coming and Shamos
There's a
was like
hurricane
literally
near you.
flying
You
on
are in
that
a
boat?
consistent wind tunnel. Please get out of that shit if you're gonna talk.
When Shamos was like on that boat, the hurricane was coming, he was crying and stuff because he didn't know if he was going to survive.
Well, I didn't start
Remember?
freaking out until the fucking dock poles started sparking and fucking there were live wires in the water and shit around my boat. That's when I started getting freaked out.
I
But I
was
mean,
just messing around.
you gotta
I was just
understand.
messing.
It's like the third hurricane I went through on the sailboat. That's like the third one. So I mean, are you guys? I mean, you guys don't even know. Most of you know what I've been through. So I mean, well, I can't believe you aren't just jumping out of your seat telling Molly to shut her fucking dumb mouth.
Mm.
I like Molly though. Shamos.
Yeah, but you could at least be honest with her and be like, Molly, I mean, do you really think it's reasonable, given what we know about Shamos and background information about how he's lived his life these past years, to claim that you know more about survival than him? Do you really think that that's reasonable, Molly?
Is that
I mean,
you think you do, Molly?
What? I don't know what he knows. How can I make that assumption? I don't know what he knows.
Okay, so this whole thing was based on a premise which Molly isn't even disputing.
No, I'm not disputing it at all. I've come from the beginning. I said, I don't know what your skills are. All I've listened to is him attack me on the skills he says I don't have. I've never questioned his skills.
no, but you always
this entire
distract me with these
discussion
little
was just
comments,
bullshit.
like about my financial situation and about, oh, he's really surviving really good, like all talking about like what's going on financially with me, and since the accident, and whatever, the fact that didn't have a nest egg, rainy day fund or whatever, and she's trying to like make inferences from that to about like what I'm talking about, like primitive
How am I
survival
trying
out.
to make inferences? You
Why
have
do you
always
keep
said
bringing it up
that
in this context?
because you had said that, yeah, I survived. I got my shit together. I got a plan. Do you? This has been your gig the whole time. So again, and like I said to you saying that you can survive and you're a survivalist goes a lot further than just saying if I'm dropped in the woods, I can fucking live. If that's what you're waiting for to prove that you're a survivor and that you're able to acclimate to situations and things that happen are limited to you just waiting for the end of earth or to be put on a desert island, well, you're pretty limited in your survival skills.
What do you mean by survival skill? Paying your bills on time? What the fuck are you talking about?
Survival is relative to the environment you're in, right? So if you're in an environment where your skills are useless, then you're not very good at surviving. Doesn't matter if it's great in the
Wow.
wilderness.
Wow, that's a straight up tautology. Thank you.
It's not really.
Look,
It's just to do with.
that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about like Survivor, like the show,
I
like you
don't
get
know
dropped
though,
off
but
on a
see, the
fucking
thing is,
desert.
Tom, he's never clarified because we'll have one discussion and he's talking about, I could make it if my leg wasn't broken, I'd be fishing right now, I'd be eating right now. And I said, well, Seamus, And then he says, well, I can't do it because my leg's broken. And I said, well, a lot of people that end up finding themselves lost or in survival situations are wounded. So don't use that as an excuse. All I'm doing is reacting to what
Doesn't
he's
matter.
telling
It's
me.
just all things being considered, right? All things being equal.
Wow. Okay.
When are the
I'm not
things all things
baffled
being
both
equal?
of you. Hmm.
I mean, now you want to reduce it to like, hey, Shamos, if you like are in a car crash,
No, that's not what I'm
and like you
reducing it
lose
to.
both arms, then you're not a very good survivor.
Yeah, if
That
you get in
is.
an accident,
No,
none of
it's
your own
not.
doing,
Oh,
and you are not
fucking
negligent in
hell.
any way, not negligent in any way, and it happened not of my own doing. Okay, it's just a sheer bad luck. Okay, so because of
Okay.
sheer bad luck, all of a sudden I
Thank you,
don't know what the fuck
Tom.
I'm doing.
Thank you, Tom.
He's not making a controversial claim.
Because
Look,
how many of these discussions have you been a part of, Tom? To know that what he has been about and how he's moved the goalpost and how many different times now he's focusing on one particular thing. But that's
I'm
not been
saying
the
in
issue the
regards to
entire
what I
time.
just cleared up, and I don't, he's never been using it in the way that you're talking about that I've heard. In regards to the framework that I just clarified and outlined, that's not a controversial claim.
Well, no, because he said you try and let's see how long you make it with the broken leg, and I said, well, Shamos, first off, I have an ample supply of food at the ready, because you don't know when you're going to become injured or incapacitated
I
or
know.
not be able to work. That was one of the things. And then all of a sudden then when I made that claim to him and
That
said, that's
doesn't
it,
test
let
your
me
survival
finish.
skills.
Let me
That
finish.
so
Then
again, she's not exactly.
no fucking
You're just
hell,
going to
I give
work,
up.
getting your paycheck, going to Costco, and buying a bunch of food that lasts for a long time and stocking it in your house. What does that have to do with survival skills in the context that Tom just outlined for you? Fucking nothing.
Because when you started this whole bullshit, your thing was, oh, let's see you try and make it with a broken leg and be in the same position I'm at. And I responded to that. And then it's gone to this big, huge fucking, you're fishing, swimming,
Yeah,
mountain
but that
climbing.
you wouldn't be in the same position if you were allowed to have all your stores of food at your side. That's not what we mean by the same position, you fucking
So
idiot.
decision making doesn't have
Yeah.
into survival skills now. That's a
Oh
bit
my
silly.
gosh.
It's
Well, I
just like
think all that I understood from that is if you were in a situation where like your primary source of sustaining yourself was some income that you had, and then you got in an injury such that you couldn't work that job anymore, you'd be in a tough position as well. That just seems non-controversial.
You can't take this. This is fucking amazing.
No,
I've
I
been
can't
doing
take
all
it
I
where
do
the
is
last
just try and chase down what you want to argue about because you're constantly moving it.
well, that's not true. Your confusion doesn't
if
mean
you
anyone
define
proves anything.
survival as skills which Molly don't have, then by default you're already conceding
No,
that,
I'm not
that Molly
defining
can't win
survival skills
because
by skills Molly
Molly's
don't have. What the fuck?
because Molly's already said that
You
she's
think what
got
I think the meaning of survival skills is just any skill that Molly doesn't have, and that's what you're seriously
I'm just
proposing? That's what
well,
you
if
got
you want
from
to
what
shout over it,
anybody
there,
said?
yes, that's what I'm proposing. Because when Molly said that, oh, but I'm not in the same situation as you because I have got more ability to survive because I've got more supplies, you're dismissing that out of
That's
hand. So
not
that
what
doesn't fit my
anybody
definition of
means
surviving.
by positive survival skills. That's not what anyone means. Go look
Why
at
not?
survival skills.
Why is that not a
There's a
survival
guy.
skill?
He's called the Wooded Beardsman. He has one of the most successful survival channels on YouTube. There's actually a few more I could point you to. Okay, none of those people mean any of those things when they're talking about primitive
When
survival.
does survival start? Is it before or after you stockpile your food? Or is it just where basically whenever I tell you
Talking about it's being able to live off the land, not go down to Costco
And-
with your check you just got from a capitalist bullshit, and
right?
go
So
down and buy a
stockpiling
bunch of
doesn't
stuff.
have any. Right, so stockpiling doesn't have
No.
any factor in
Stockpiling
surviving.
bought food doesn't have anything to do with it. Stockpiling a deer that you killed and taking the venison and making it into jerky counts. You can stockpile as much of that as you want. That's what we mean. Are you really having this hard of time understanding what we mean by survival skills, motherfucker? Stop playing stupid. Of course
Look,
you
you
can
guys are
stockpile
getting
food,
you
but
guys
it's got to be food you procured from the environment. Okay, it can't be shit you
are
bought from
getting caught.
Costco.
You guys are getting caught up in like how abrasive Shamos is, and it's like clouding your judgment.
It's really clear what's meant, right? And it's not controversial. I would put my money in this situation that we've outlined on Shamos every single time. Every
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And anyone that didn't would
And I respect that. I respect that, Tom. I'm not going to find it because again, I don't know what his survival skills out there in the wild are. But again, I'm going to go back to the first thing that he said that started this whole shit was, let's see how you do. If you got into a car accident and had a broken leg and couldn't go back to work, that's what started this. So I responded to that because there we were. That was the situation that was laid out. That I was in a car accident, couldn't work, and how am I? I'm good.
No. What I was telling
And then
you is
when
what you
I
were
said
saying.
that, no, let me finish. Then when I said that, he's like, well, now I'm going to put you on a desert island. Now I'm going to put you in the fucking mountains. And then I was so this is how it all started. He's the one that sets up the scenario of me being in the same position he is, which is a car accident, broken legs, can't work. I'm fucking screwed.
First of all, you never ever put yourself in the same position. Let me tell you what I was replying to. What you were saying is like, Shamos, just pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Grab your crutches, grab your fishing pole, grab your tackle box, grab your cooler, grab your chair, and
That's
fucking
not what
make
I
multiple
never
trips
said
and
it.
chuck it
No.
all the way out. And what I was saying is this,
Never
Molly.
once said that.
Given the fact,
once
hold on,
said
now
that.
I'll let you finish. Wow, okay, I'll
Okay,
let
go
you
ahead.
finish. Would you like to go again?
Go ahead.
Okay, what I was saying is, Molly, given the fact, if you put yourself, okay, in the exact same situation, all things being equal, you have the same amount of food as me, you have the same amount of money as me, you are on the boat as me, you have all the same things. It's just you in my position. We swapped lives. You never put yourself in that position. What I was saying is this: it's a very simple point, and I'm sure everyone will agree. Molly, I'm stronger than you. I have testosterone. I'm a grown man. If you think you could do any better than me in that situation, you're wrong. It's not like you would just grab the crutches and go crutch out to the fishing spot and Molly
That's
would
just
be
appealing to
tearing
male
it up.
versus
That's
female.
not true. I'm more stronger than you. I probably got a higher pain tolerance than you. And there's so all of those factors give in the fact that I got testosterone coursing through my body and I'm not a punk and I'm physically
He's got
active.
a higher
I'm in
higher
much better
blood pressure,
position physically
risk
to
of
do that
stroke.
with you than a broken leg. So you think you're gonna come in much weaker than me, not with any testosterone, and you're just gonna come in and fucking pick yourself up by the
Oh
bootstraps?
dear.
No, Molly, you would not do any better than me. You would do much
This
worse
is
than me.
just
So
appealing to like
if a grown man is
Just
telling
personality.
moved
you,
it again.
This
He
is
just
appealing to
moved
something
it again.
entirely different,
what have I
in terms
moved?
of my character and
No.
my
I'm saying,
like
given the facts
biology,
about
right?
me, I'm stronger than you. Don't think I'm stronger than Molly? Is that what's under contention?
Fucking with me.
Yeah.
Do you
Oh
not think
no!
I'm
See,
stronger than me?
I have no illusions that men, no matter how a woman can bulk up as big as she can bulk, yeah, that's just genetics. Men are stronger than women. That's something, but that's not a game, Ender. Do you not understand that? Yeah,
All I'm
it
saying is, if
it
I'm
makes
having these
it
type
makes
of
things.
troubles,
Let me finish. It makes things more difficult for women, of course. And there's some things that no, that you would absolutely be able to do that I would not be able to do. So all that would mean to me is that either I need to find another way to achieve that goal, or find something else that's going to replace and accommodate for my lack of being able to, I don't know, fucking gnaw a tree down with my teeth.
Molly could
no,
essentially
all I'm
be.
telling you
She's
is you
more
just agreed
sociable,
that you would
therefore
be at
she's
a
able to
worse
trade
position
with
than
other
me.
people.
So I'm telling you, I've already feasibly looked at the situation and logically concluded it wouldn't be in my best interest to go out there marching on crutches.
Okay,
But anyway, so look,
but
so you think
let's
all of
say,
a
but
sudden
see,
you'd
here's the
be in a
thing:
better position than me?
if I'm living on the boat, like you say you are, then I'm probably going to have
I mean, like I
essentially
say I am, like you know I am.
no,
What, you
but
think
like
I'm lying about
I'm
that
talking
too?
about no, I'm talking about the scenario. Okay, like I'm on the boat, like you, right, and I've lived essentially what you're saying, your lifestyle there. So one would assume that if that now has become my lifestyle, then I more than likely would learn to fish and would
No,
learn
but
to
now
do
you're
those certain things.
presupposing you have
And
the
now,
same experience as
then
me.
why
Now
the
you're
fuck am
saying
I on the boat?
no, do you not understand? We're not, the thing that we're varying in this situation is just you are in my position. We're not granting you all of my experience because we're trying to make a point about our relative experience levels and what you would do in the same type of position. So we're not going to grant you all of those things about my experience because then all you're saying is, you're the exact same as Shamos, and you would do exactly as well as Shamos. There's nothing interesting to introspect about that. So I don't know why changing the thought experiment in that way would be interesting. That sounds just dumb as hell. The idea is, given our skill sets, given the fact that I'm stronger than you, I've got testosterone, and fucking, if I think it's a bad idea to go do those type of things on my crutches, you would be in a much worse position. So if I've already assessed the situation and concluded that it's probably not a good idea, given the fact that you're way less stronger than me, it would be way more hard on you. So if I've already assessed that it's no go, you definitely couldn't do it.
Yeah, but hang on. Don't women have higher fat body content so they'd last longer? So there's various other things. This is just an appeal to like biology right now. This isn't an appeal to anything
I
individual.
mean, she
This
could
is like
last longer if we both didn't eat from that
like
day.
if you're going to appeal to like if you're going to appeal to things like testosterone, right? Then all you're going to do is just reduces down to who's better, men or women, and it's just like that depends on the situation.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, given the fact that I'm stronger than her and I have testosterone, it would be easier
Which
for
is a
me to
biology
get
thing.
out of my boat on the crutches and go do those things injured, okay? And if I've
Women
already
have a higher
assessed it,
pain threshold though as well, right? So the
but
broken
that
leg
just
would be
means
less
she'd
of
be
an issue.
injuring herself. That means she'd be walking backwards on her injury. You don't recover by doing that, dummy. That's how you fuck yourself up really bad. And so that's what you're advising, that she just grin
I'm
and bear it
advising that she can
and
cope
do
with the
that?
pain better, right? So she's
No, that's
psychologically
not
more
what he's
prepped.
saying. Shamos, everything you're saying right now just sounds extremely irrational. Like, you're not even listening to what people are saying.
See,
Sergey
I'm
said,
going to give you the testosterone and
It's
the
not listening. I'm not.
physical. I'm giving you that I'm conceding that men are stronger than women, but to make the claim that you have a higher threshold than I do, well, I don't know, and neither do you.
What did Jovan say? Who's not listening?
You.
What? Go ahead, elaborate on that, Jovan.
yeah, give me a second. I'm ordering.
Okay.
What are you ordering? Can we hear your order?
I hope he's using irrational in a very loose, colloquial way, because I want to know what inference rule I violated or what logical norm I violated. If not, motherfuckers better be have their mouth shut.
To see, one of the things that is also almost a bit of a benefit when you do know that you have certain physical limitations as a strength and whatnot, it teaches you to actually adapt and change circumstances to overcome those, where you're not solely relying on brute strength, which at times, there's going to be, brute strength is what's necessary for this task, but you learn to find other ways to accomplish those goals. I've had to deal with that in my past, being small and dealing with things.
But being small means you need less calories, right? So you don't need to eat as much, and you've got higher fat content because you're a female, higher pain tolerance, so you're less likely to suffer from stress, more social skills because you're a female as well, so you're more likely to be less aggressive to other people you'd meet. So it's just a case of reducing it down to flipping biology at that point. It just does whether it's Shamos or some other random guy in the street, it becomes irrelevant, and it doesn't become Molly versus Shamos. It just becomes like stereotypical man versus stereotypical woman.
All right, look, I'm only going to say this real quick. This is just one example of Shamos' rationality in this conversation. Shamos said because he's stronger than Molly, he can handle it and Molly cannot. But there can be certain strength thresholds that need to be reached to be able to complete a certain task, and both Molly and Shamos can both be above that threshold while Shamos being stronger. Therefore, not making it so simply Shamos being stronger means he can complete the task and Molly should not.
Yeah, but you're missing out one key part.
Rationality.
You're missing out the key part that I've constantly fished these areas for years. I know what it takes to get there. I know where the fish are, and I've already assessed that it's outside of my purview.
Do you know how strong Molly is?
I'm betting.
I'm betting. Dumbass. There's your rationale.
So what logical norm did I violate? What inference rule?
I know how much strength it takes for it to complete X, but I don't know how strong Molly is. Yet Molly's still not strong enough to complete X.
Yeah, this whole conversation is laden with some assumption, but I'm assuming that I'm stronger than Molly. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. But that's not an unjust.
But that's not an unjust. Stronger than Molly is irrelevant. Whether or not Molly's strong enough to complete the task.
Look, I'm already saying that I know that task because I've done that task for years, and I've already assessed that task is outside of my reach. Okay, so you think all of a sudden it's inside Molly's reach? All you're saying is if there was some task like spreading butter on a fucking piece of bread, that me and Molly would have just as equal capabilities of doing that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Wait,
about
now
a
you're
certain
saying that you
activity.
both couldn't. Wait, no. You started saying something that you could complete that mall.
No, that's not what I was saying. That just shows you weren't listening. What it was saying is, if I can't complete it, it's a good expectation that it would be even harder for you, and you definitely wouldn't be able to complete it. So what I was trying to tell Molly is, if we swapped situations, okay, you would not be hucking through the woods and going through the fishing spot, carrying all that tackle and all those poles and making multiple trips back to the vehicle. You wouldn't be doing it. And so all I was telling her
No,
is,
I wouldn't be hucking all tackle boxes and unnecessary gear to achieve that goal. It was called learning how to fucking condense your equipment and wrap it and huck it and be able to hump it into an area. I mean, that's just basic knowledge right there. I mean, silly.
I mean, like, this is assuming that fishing is the best way to go about surviving.
Well, I mean,
right?
are you saying that every piece of tackle in your tackle box is going to be needed on that one
see,
fishing
you're
expedition?
already making false assumptions.
What?
I
I'm
have a
asking you a
box.
question. I'm asking you a question.
I have a small box that I use. I could take a picture of it, and then I just take out of my big tackle box, which always remains in my vehicle, and I put in what I need into that box. That's
How
all I
big is
take.
that? How big is that? Can I lift it?
Yeah,
Can
you
it
could
go
lift
on
it.
Can I put it in a rucksack?
Yeah.
Okay. There I go.
Okay, this is what the fishing spot is about 350 yards one way through very, very, very tall grass, about waist high grass. It's like Cottonmouth City. Okay, and then these are the things that you need. You need that tackle box. You need 2 poles. Okay, you need a chair. Okay, and you're going to need.
I need a chair.
Yeah, I've got a broke leg, bitch.
You can't sit on the ground.
Yeah, of course you're going to need a fucking chair.
You can't cast and then sit your ass on the ground?
No, that's retarded.
Oh, it's retarded. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's retarded for me with a broke leg to try to get myself down from a sitting position. That's just stupid.
You can't just stand.
Every time I replace bait, every time I reel all the way back into check and have to recast, each one of those times I'm going to have to get up from the sitting position. It just makes no sense. I take a fold-out chair, a canvas fold-out beach chair, okay, high-sitting beach chair, and that's what I take out. Okay, so you're going to need.
You can also get like I actually have one. It's not really a chair. It's a bit like a stool, and it collapses, and I can actually wrap it right onto my rucksack. Would that be a problem?
Yes, this collapses too. What don't you understand?
Okay, brilliant. So that can go right on your rucksack.
Yeah, you can carry that. You can carry that on the rucksack too.
Okay, good. I'm good. Let's go. I'm good. I got everything.
Okay,
that I need. Got
and then you need to carry the 2 poles and then the live bait. 2 poles and then a live bait.
Why can't your live bait go in your rucksack, and why can't you sling your poles over bait? There's a way, I'm sure you can wrap those onto your rucksack or sling them or something like that. I mean, that's not a problem. I might also want to bring some water and something like that. If I'm going to be walking that far, it might get a bit hot. But yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah, look, go ahead. So you're saying that you would just lash it all to a backpack, okay? Even the poles and everything, okay? And you would just walk out there. You would crutch out there on one go like a beast.
Well, I mean, why am I going to not try to make it in one go, especially if I can utilize my rucksack and be able to
Look, I don't own a rucksack.
Let me finish. Well,
so that's you again making something that's not equal. I don't have a rucksack. I have a small book bag.
Okay,
but that book bag isn't going to fit all those things.
Yeah, but you know what? You can make a rucksack out of fucking anything. You have rope, don't you?
So what? You're going to teach me how to weave a rucksack now?
What do you think?
That's what you're talking about. You're going to teach me how to
weave a rucksack.
Why would Molly have to teach you, Shamos? All she would know how to do it. She would just not. She'd to put her.
That's what you're. So that's yeah. Let me rephrase it. So you would grab some rope and you would weave a rucksack.
What the fuck am I? What? You have no bedding? Do you not have any material cloth in your boat?
Or do you think you got a fishing line to make the thread with? You got a fishing hook to make the needle with? I mean, there's all kinds of things.
You don't even need that. I mean, it's fucking knots. You tie knots into it. You could
Right.
take a fucking bed sheet.
Look, you make one of these. You make one of these rucksacks.
I've made them. Do you know that fucking?
No,
oh
that's
my
not what I'm
God.
asking you. I'm saying you make one and you take a picture of it. I'm interested to see the type of rucksack you make out of like a bed sheet and some rope. I'd love to fucking see it.
I'd just use the line
because
to
now
make
we're
traps.
now
You wouldn't have to
in
be
fucking
wasting
Never
time.
Never Land. We're knee deep.
You know what?
We're knee deep in the Never Never Land of bullshit now. We're already thinking.
See,
So Shamos is a great survivor, but he thinks it's impossible to make a rucksack.
No, what I'm saying is I'm doubting her. I'm doubting her story here. Yeah, I don't think she possesses those skills.
Do you have pillowcases?
Yeah, I have pillowcases.
Bravo, there you go.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not gonna the stuff that you're gonna
Do you
put
not
in there.
know how to set? Do you not what? What?
It's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit in a pillowcase.
So I might have to use two pillowcases and knot them together at the bottom, then run my line to the top and knot that, and then have that sling over. Right?
Okay, so you want me to destroy my pillowcases? Okay, I'm just saying you want me to destroy my pillowcases that I use and that I need, and then you want me to
destroy.
So like what I'm saying is that option for me was off the table. I'm not gonna do that.
Why are you destroying your pillowcases? You're just tying a knot at the bottom and the top, making a sling, and
Why would you destroy it, Shamos?
Yeah.
Do you even know what Molly's talking about right now? You know what she's saying does not imply that you would have to destroy the pillowcase, right?
Well,
Seems like
I
you
don't
know
understand.
that. So you're saying you didn't know that, right?
How you could get it like that? Explain it to me.
Oh, so you need Molly to explain Survivor stuff to you, then, right?
No. I'm saying. Explain to me.
So the master has become the
So you
student.
got a length of rope and you got a pillowcase.
Yeah.
You put your items in the pillowcase.
Okay. No, actually, you're not going to put your items in the pillowcase first. What you're going to do is find the corner, the bottom corner, right? You're going to knot that up, make sure it's held. You can usually, what you do is want to knot the corner of that pillowcase, then put your actual rope knot behind that, attach it, then just have it go up to the top, put your things in there, give yourself enough of a gap to make another wrap around knot. You're going to have enough rope where you can actually sling it across your shoulders through the back. Then if you need another one, well, then you're going to make another one. Now, the bulkier one's going to go on top of the one that's less bulky, so it makes it easier to walk. So you kind of have like that Mexican shell.
And then, how do you make the straps so that it sits on your back? Because you have crutches, by the way. You can't carry it. So and how do you make the straps?
Do you know
without
what a sling? Do you know what a sling is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a sling. That's all. There's no straps. It's just a sling.
Yeah, I don't understand then. I really don't.
God.
Are you really a survivalist in Shamos?
And that, Shamos, is why you're going to die trying to figure out how to make a bag.
This is like Cub Scouts level stuff. Like 12-year-olds can get grasp this.
Yeah, I would love to see it. If it's so easy, go get a pillowcase right now and go get a length of rope. Jig one up real quick and let me take a fucking quick look
Why
at
would
it.
anybody do that?
I'm just saying, if it's so easy, if you could do it without harming a pillowcase, and all you need is a length of rope.
No pillows.
Show me.
I promise you, Shamos, no pillowcases were harmed in the making of this movie.
Shamos, take a look at the chat. It's a fairly standard triangular design for an improvised rock.
I was in the Boy Scouts.
Landon, I'm not so sure we should let you go on too far with that.
Do it anyway.
I mean, he does realize that when you stitch things together, it doesn't like magically destroy the cloth, right? You can unstitch it. If you need.
Lies? Horrible lies.
Witchcraft.
We understand why now Shamos cannot accomplish that task because he's over there like hitching like big ass fucking containers and trying to drag them fucking miles instead of just making a rucksack.
You could just make traps using the fishing line.
This is brilliant survival genius.
I never practiced. Let me explain to you, and I think it's pretty simple. Okay, I never practiced how to make a rucksack in a survival situation with a pillowcase. Okay?
Oh,
Because
have you ever done one? Have you ever done one with a shirt or trousers? That's another. You can also make rucksacks out of those. Have you ever done those?
You're not gonna make a rucksack out of a shirt that's gonna fit all that stuff in it.
Yeah.
Not all of the stuff that I just described to you.
You know, things don't always have to fit right inside. You can also say rig it so it sort of like hangs on the outside, especially especially if you think I'm going to actually, if I can condense what's in your tackle box into a smaller container.
It's already been condensed.
How small? So, what are we talking? What is it that's so fucking?
Take a picture of it next time I'll take a picture of it.
I guarantee you could condense it even more, Shamos. I guarantee you could put everything in plastic bags and just put it together.
Yeah.
And that would be smaller than your small tackle box.
Do you realize that you can,
This is basic survival shit.
Yeah,
Shamos.
basic survival shit where basically where you can get all your
Shamos thought the small tackle box was as small as you could possibly condense that shit.
Well, look, I mean, you
can't get it any smaller than that.
Look, given the stuff that's in it, I'm sacrificing some of that because of its organizational capacity. Like if I just chunked everything that I needed inside like plastic bags or something, it wouldn't be as flip the case open, grab it right there.
Now, what's more important, you getting food or your stuff being organized?
No, what I'm saying is, certain things are in a fishing situation. Certain times, expediency is more necessary, right? Like there's like a run of fish coming by, right? Okay, and it's just cool, and it'll pass. Okay, you get broke off. Okay, you can't be. You want to flip it open, grab the things, and be already tying off. Not going to be.
So wants luxury in a survival situation.
No, what I'm saying is.
Okay, right, quick. So let's say I had to, use small bags, Ziploc bag, different sizes. Would it not be wise of me then, before I start fishing, to actually lay that stuff out so it's within reach? And
another thing is what you've already put on the table goes against what people consider primitive survival. The guys that with the YouTube channels that do primitive survival are not saying, watch me take this pillowcase and make it into a backpack. Okay, that's kind of like already against the rules. Okay, so what we're talking about now is like a hybrid of being able to use real world items to some capacity, etc. Like the only thing you're really granted.
No, the situation was how would I get
the situation on your boat. I'm on your boat. I've been just put on your boat. So whatever's on that boat, I have access to.
But you got to understand what we're talking about. What we're talking about is not a single situation.
He's doing it and fucking again.
No, the whole conversation is about survival skills in general.
If you're talking about what somebody like Bear Grylls, if you're talking about what somebody like Bear Grylls says, where they're in the forest basically with nothing but the drawers on their ass, we already have obviated your fucking tackle box. You don't have that.
No. What most survival people, right, are what's basically these primitive channels that come on are not like where you have nothing that's made from society or anything like that. They usually grant you a few things, like a good knife, a hacksaw.
Your tackle box would be out. Your tackle box.
Good knife, hacksaw, rope. No, tackle boxes aren't out. Tackle boxes aren't out. I'll explain.
Yes,
no, they're not. I'll explain to you why. Because
I have never one time seen a Bear Grylls or anybody like that show.
We're not talking about Bear Grylls.
They have anything more than
primitive survival with a tackle box does.
Look, we're not talking.
But my pillowcase is like high technology.
Yeah, pillowcases are out of the question, but you can have tackle boxes.
Listen, I'm trying to explain to you the criterion by which we
explain to you what somebody other than you have seen. Okay. At the end of the day, what I tend to see first.
I understand that tackle boxes, fishing gear, already pre-made fishing gear is against a completely holistic, 100% primitive survival approach. Everyone knows that, but that's not what's being put on the table here. Okay, these YouTube channels.
So I get to keep my pillowcase.
No, you don't get to keep your pillowcase. There's a generally agreed upon set of tools that you're allowed to start with.
There's no like these generally people, agreed upon set of tools.
I'm trying to explain it to you. They usually
there's no such thing when you're in a random survival. What the fuck? Do you think the guys at the SAS teach their? Do you think the guys at the fucking underwater demolition program in fucking Florida teach
That's
their
not the stuff I'm talking about. You're
fucking
talking
guys?
past me at
I
this
know,
point.
hey, teach their guys that if you're in a friggin' death situation that you're gonna that everybody's gonna be apportioned the same friggin' products to use.
Yes, I realize that. I realize
Well,
that,
then
but
why
you're
did you bring
talking.
them in? Why did you
You're
open the
talking
door
past
for
me
them
because I've
then?
never been talking about that. I've
Yes,
never
you
been talking
have.
about that.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't. No, I
Yes,
haven't.
you have.
Okay, then you're confused because I
No,
know
I'm not.
exactly
You're
what
the
I've
one
been
that's
talking about.
confused.
I'm not talking about going out in the woods with zero tools, zero things, and you have to just make your own tools all the way up. That's never been what I'm talking about.
Well,
ever.
maybe
Okay?
not, but you cited people whose programs tend to be that. Maybe one or two tools. Maybe they've got
No,
a
I
knife.
didn't. The
Maybe
only
they have
program I cited was the Wooded Beardsman, and that's a YouTube
Maybe they
channel,
have
and
a
his is
knife.
not ran that way.
Maybe they
I
have a
never cited
knife.
Bear Grylls.
Maybe
I
they
never
have a
cited Bear
fire
Grylls.
steel. Maybe they have a knife.
So you're just
Maybe they have
making
a
shit
fire
up now.
steel.
You're making shit up and
Yeah,
talking
that's
over
nice.
people. I
Yeah,
never
no, well,
cited
I'm
Bear
trying to get a word
Grylls.
in crossways with you because you won't shut the fuck
I
up.
never cited any of those primitive survival guys like Bear Grylls or Les Stroud or any of those guys. I cited one particular YouTube channel
You didn't
called
cite them by name, but
You're
you
still
did cite-
talking over me.
You didn't cite them by name, but you did cite them.
No, I never cited them at all.
Bullshit.
Ever. I cited one
may-
thing, and it was a YouTube channel called the Wooded Beardsman. Okay, and what I'm talking about, these type of channels that I'm talking about, is a generally agreed upon things that you start with. Okay, it's a knife. Okay, a hacksaw. Okay, and there's a few other things that you start with. Okay, another one of the things is a rifle or a shotgun or some type of firearm with ammunition.
No fucking way in a survival.
Or sometimes it's a bow. Sometimes it's a bow and arrows.
In a bear survival situation.
I'm not talking about a bear survival situation. I never have. Stop changing the subject. No, we're not. I'm telling you right now. Everyone in the room, listen to me. I'm not talking about that. So every time he brings it back to that, he's changing the subject.
You can
Well,
have
the thing is, nobody actually
No
knows what you're
one's
talking about right
talking
now,
about that.
Shamos. Nobody actually knows what you're talking about right now, Shamos, because you keep changing the scenario every
No, I'm
fucking
not
second
changing
when it
the
doesn't
scenario.
benefit.
Here's the
Every time, wait, stop. Every time it doesn't benefit you, Shamos, you change the scenario.
Look,
What we were just talking about. We were just stop. We were just talking about. If Molly was transported onto your boat with a broken leg, how would she get equipment to a fishing area for her to be able to fish? And then she explained exactly how she would do it. And then you changed the scenario, saying, no, this is not how we could do it in a base survivor scenario. You couldn't use the the pillowcase, even though the pillowcase is right there on your boat.
Hey, look,
for her to
I'm willing to grant her.
You're changing the scenario whenever it doesn't fit you.
I'll grant her that. I'll grant that. I'll grant you. You're right. You're right. I changed the subject. You're right.
Talking about the base
You're right.
survival scenario.
Let me answer him.
I'm not finished grilling you, okay?
No, you don't get. He was talking to me. He was talking to me.
Let him go, Gus. Let him go.
Fucking sakes! I was about to concede a fucking point. I was right in the middle of conceding a point.
I swear to God, Shamos.
So three of y'all talk at me. Molly goes, then fucking Jovan goes, then Gus goes. Snipes respond to all three of you. That's a real great way.
We're going to have to listen to four or five sentences every one we utter.
Well, he has to go eventually.
And I'm trying to fucking pound that out. Stop! Yeah, who the fuck did that? Oh,
we're not running the conversation where three people get to shotgun stuff at me and then I have one chance to respond to all three of them before they all queue up again. We're not doing that. Jovan just said something to me. I'm responding. I grant you that I changed the subject. I grant you her excellent rucksack building abilities, okay? But that doesn't equal the playing field against all my other survival skills, okay? I could grant her that, and I'm willing to do so, no problem, okay? And we can put every other bit of knowledge she has on the table, and then we can put every other bit of knowledge I have on the table, and then we could take a good survey of the whole fucking situation. That's what I'm talking about. So if she has some excellent fucking rucksack making ability, it isn't like it's a complete fucking game changer, and all of a sudden she's going to be the best survival person ever. So fine, I'll grant her that. One thing there, perfectly fine, okay? Molly makes it out to the fishing spot that day. Great, okay? That doesn't mean that's one thing.
Okay.
That's one thing in an entire landscape.
All right, Shamos.
Okay, and actually, one thing, Shamos, when we do SELE training, which is our survival training, we all have to train for this before we go overseas is that we do have our rucksack, but we also think, all right, what if we lose the rucksack, which is not, it's quite common. You lose a rucksack. So we have these wonderful things that have cargo pants on them. And we have in those cargo pants essentially
Yeah,
everything that we
nature.
would need, everything that we would need to survive. It has a very small fishing tackle thing in there and whatnot. So we have to rely on what we put in our pockets to survive. So being able to condense things, I'm actually quite proficient at. So if we really want to get really, I could probably break down your fishing shit to fit my pockets and have just a pole strapped over my back, but I didn't want to get picky about it. So I said, yeah, well, we can try it. There's different ways. It just depends on what is available at the time that you are quote
And
stranded,
so
or
that's
what
one
time
single thing in an entire
or
landscape of
what.
survival skills. That's one single thing in an entire landscape. I mean, what if we
Well,
talked about
this
how
is
to make primitive?
how much. But see, here we go. Here, this is the scenario that you've presented to me. This is the
That's a
scenario
single
I'm working.
scenario.
Okay,
But look,
thank
the
you.
main claim is this: is that I have more survival skills than you. That's not decided on the basis that you know how to make a rucksack. Okay, that's decided on the basis of
But I
surveying
met
all of your
your
survival knowledge.
criteria. I met your criteria, and I was able to accomplish what you said I couldn't accomplish. So
Yeah, but
what's
I'm
next?
trying to say that you keep your eyes on the prize. We're having a larger discussion. I've
Okay,
granted you that.
next scenario.
But how
Next fucking
how does that
scenario.
fare? How does that fare against the background of what we're talking about as a whole? If we were to take all of your survival knowledge, lay it down, and all of mine, then we would just take a quick survey, okay? And now I could grant you, you're the best fucking rucksack maker that ever graced this face of this earth, and I still wouldn't be scared. I would still be supremely confident in my ability. I mean, you don't
I'm still
understand
not
that
diminishing.
I actually
See,
kind of pride
here's the
myself on
thing.
these things.
Okay, see, here's the thing. You are focusing on diminishing my capabilities and pumping up your capabilities, but yet you really haven't said or made any example of your survival skills whatsoever. You just keep focusing on how mine are shit.
Look, I mean, I think I've demonstrated that I know about. I mean, I think I have demonstrated some things actually. Okay. I mean, I think what I've demonstrated is that uh, I have an intimate knowledge of how to spear fish, where certain fish are, etc., their habits, etc. I
Well,
know
that's one
what fish. I
scenario.
know what fish
Okay,
bite
that you
what.
could. That's the only thing that you've said. Fishing.
Yeah. No, I described how to make solar still yesterday, which is the only way you're getting water on a desert island if it doesn't have some like fresh waterfall or some bullshit like that coming from some spring, blah, blah, blah. That's an important process. I talked about how to make a bow drill yesterday. That's an important process in primitive fire making. So let's not kid ourselves. I've talked about that I know over 100 knots just by memory. Okay, a lot of them are super important knots. Okay, like a trucker's hitch. Okay,
So
that's a
yeah,
tension knot.
see, so
That's like
I
one of the
appreciate that
most
you
basic
know.
knots
Yeah.
that you tension a line for a hammock, the top line on a triangular tent. And so there's just I've talked about a bunch of that stuff. So don't act like I haven't put anything on the table. Not even to mention, if you guys know how rugged of a lifestyle that I have. Okay, you guys have seen the fish that I put on the table. You guys have seen all that stuff. With those fish that I caught, I didn't spear them with the spear gun. I got them with
You a
the
chump,
Hawaiian
Shamos.
sling. All you need is a rubber band and a stick to do that.
You a chump, Shamos.
Shamos, you understand the problem when you start making
Once I get my
claims
leg healed,
about.
I swear to God, once I get my leg healed, I have a mind to just fucking take my truck, drive straight to the Appalachian Mountains, and we would just do like a live stream for like 2 weeks. I'll make sure I got my phone card and everything set up. I'll make sure I'm by one of the towers on the mountain, cell phone towers, and I will just sit there for 2 weeks, and you guys I'll fucking live stream it with you guys, and we'll just fucking hang out and see how it goes. You guys are really pissing me off.
Well, Shamos, the point is, you shouldn't make
chump,
claims
Shamos.
about you having more experience in X if you don't know what the other person's experience is in X. Right? Do you think that's reasonable?
Yeah, I think that inference is reasonable, but that's not what's going on here. Look, I know Molly. I've talked with Molly. I know what kind of lifestyle she lives. I've talked about her experiences, and mostly of the time she's just like bullshitting around on the internet. I mean, she's like getting some homestead ready or something like that. Not serious survival stuff. I mean, I've talked with her enough to know, and you guys have talked with me enough to know that I'm about that life. And so I'm not just making a blind assumption. I'm extrapolating based on that I think I have a far exceeding above average survival skills than the average bear. I don't think Molly is much ahead of the average bear, if at all. And so I'm making reasonable inferences about that. It's not just blind, like I know nothing about Molly's capabilities or like what kind of stuff
You don't
she's
think
interested
Molly
in.
is much more capable than the average person in a survival situation?
I think she's slightly more capable than the average person in a survival situation.
Just
Slightly more
slightly?
capable. Yeah.
Oh, that's odd. You think the average person can know like something like make a rucksack or to be able to like I mean, I'm sure there's like many things. I mean,
Yeah, she's got slightly
Molly,
above average skills.
didn't the military give you like survival training as well?
No, it's very, very rudimentary.
Still survival.
How do you know if it's rudimentary?
Look, we can just test this, right? So Molly, you're dropped in the forest with nothing. You have nothing. How do you make a fire?
Done. I'm fucking done with you. You know what? No, I'm going to just, sit back and shut up with my rudimentary. I'm trying. You know what? Fuck it. You win. You
I'm
are the
just seeing those
motherfucking
military survival
Bear
courses.
Grill
They don't go live out in the
motherfucker
woods
on
for
the
3 weeks.
planet. This is fucking
They don't go live out in the woods for 3
I
weeks. In fact,
concede you win. I concede you win. I know fuck all about
Shamos,
this.
when you said that it's
they literally
rudimentary,
go to the mess hall in the morning and then go learn about how to build a fire out in the middle of the fucking in the middle of the army base or whatever. They don't take these people out in the woods for 3 weeks. In fact, it's a crash course and it's done right there on the base. Okay, they get to eat in the mess hall every day. They get to sleep in their bed every night. And fucking, I've seen it. And you want to know why? There's some of them on YouTube. There's actually recorded ones on YouTube of military survival training. Okay, they do not take these people out in the woods for 3 weeks and make them survive. That's not what happens. It's a
well,
very
obviously
rudimentary.
they don't make them survive for 3 weeks.
In fact, there are people, okay, that offer these survival courses that will take you out in the woods for 2 or 3 weeks, and it costs a good amount of money.
What is
to do that.
Shamos talking about?
But what I'm saying is, those are way more advanced, and they're just offered by enthusiasts.
Fuck only knows.
I'm gonna sit in front of the camera probably tonight, okay, with my phone and tie like about 50 different knots from memory and show you what they're used for and what their utility. And fucking about 30 of them are fishing knots, okay. And we'll just walk through that real slowly.
Because I think the average person would not even. The average person won't even survive probably a month in the wilderness, right?
Yeah,
But I think Molly could survive unless like extension circumstances, like she gets eaten by a bear or something. I feel like Molly could survive without much of a huge issue.
Yeah, but based on what, Jovan?
The fact that she's the various images I've seen of her killing stuff and the things I've heard of stories of her.
Right, so you're
and the
going
training
off
she's
background
received.
information that you know about Molly, but earlier, right, you were saying that, hey, it's not reasonable to infer that you can do better than person X in a survival situation, right? When you were talking to Shamos. But what you're doing right now is saying that
Completely
Molly
different
is...
than that.
No, you're making claims to Molly's level of competence in a survival situation.
The
So
claim,
Shamos can do the same thing. Shamos can do the same thing and say, hey, I think I'd be better at a survival situation than this person. And he'd be perfectly fucking rational.
What I said was you should. I don't think it's wise to say that you're better than person at X if you don't know person's experience in X. And then Shamos rebutted that by he actually agreed with that, but then said, "Look, I do have experience of Molly's survival." Blah blah blah.
Right.
Right. So I don't. That's not like relevant to this situation.
So you're saying that it wouldn't be wise to make those statements in virtual war?
If you didn't have knowledge of their experience, well, knowledge of their ability.
So seeing as Shamos does have knowledge of that, just the same way that you have knowledge of background knowledge of Molly, what she said, it would be wise, right?
Well, I still don't think it's wise for him to say that he knows that he will be able to be better in those situations because he still doesn't have an accurate representation of the knowledge. Right? Like I said, I don't know. I never stated that I know. I thought it was extremely confident.
Like
I just said
nobody's talking
that's something I
about like
believe.
some epistemic certainty.
No, Shamos is very confident in it. This is not just something that Shamos just happens to believe. He's not like, yeah, I think I don't.
Certainty. Yeah.
No, but listen, this is not something that Shamos is saying. Yeah, I think I might be better in that situation. I'm not sure. Blah blah blah. This is something he's saying. No, I know this. This is something that I know I will be better than Mulligan in this, and that she cannot survive as well as I can.
Yeah. I have plenty of justification. Now look at these pictures here. This is a
You see how you agreed to all that, Tom?
This is a rock climbing workstation that I set up right next to my bed. Okay, here's a rock climbing workstation. Okay, it has a fisherman's loop that's tied down to a clove hitch that's locked to a carabiner. Above it is a piece of line that I use as a prusik hitch. Okay, then what I do is I do this. Here's the next pictures. I sit around and I practice knots and their rock climbing techniques and their variations. Here's the first one. This is called a clove hitch. This is a classic rock climbing thing to tie off to an anchor so that you can go hands-free. It's called a clove hitch. Look it up. Okay? It's actually a one-rope piece of a very famous knot called a girth hitch. Everyone knows what a girth hitch is. It's just when you take a loop, a coil of loop, and then you wrap it around something and then put it through one of the holes and then cinch it. That's called a girth hitch. This is the same thing with one called a clove hitch. Next one, this thing is called a munter. This is called a munter knot. Okay, it's all. This is a very famous knot that can be used to repel somebody. That can be used to repel yourself, or it can be used to belay somebody. Look, here's the same knot tied up with
But what's the
called a
point of
munter
all this?
mule.
Can you just tell us the point instead of going through all this?
Way that you can belay someone or you can repel and then you can go hands free. As soon as you put this little loop into it right here, no matter how much weight you put on it, will not come out. Okay? Here's the same knot finished with what's called an overhand knot. This just adds a certain level of protection. It has one other knot to back it up from doing that. Here it is. Okay? And I sit here right beside my bed, right beside the bed that I'm laying in. Okay, I have a fucking rock climbing workstation with an anchor built and a carabiner already set to go. I could sit here. I could literally tie like.
What's the point?
You motherfuckers don't think I sit around fucking all the time practicing this shit and fucking priding myself on knowing fucking all of these knots and all these things. You think this is a fucking joke?
Well, maybe not.
I still don't understand the point, Shamos.
There's
He's
further
showing,
proof.
he's giving you the knowledge, right? He's
There's
giving
further
you
proof.
survival
There's further
knowledge.
He's showing us multiple knots that he knows how to make.
I showed you that I have a workstation.
If Molly can make essential knots that would make her survive just as well, then what's the point of showing us all these fancy knots?
Yeah, that's skills I'm dropping on the table. That's showing you that I have it right next to my bed and I practice it all the fucking time while I'm sitting here yelling at you dumbasses. Okay? And I take it seriously.
As long as Molly knows how to
as
long as Molly knows how to do the knots that are necessary for survival, then what's the point of you showing us these fancy knots?
Well, you guys are crazy. You guys are like, Molly says she knows how to make a rudimentary pillowcase bag. Y'all are like, dude, she's ready to be dropped off in the fucking Amazon. We'll pick you up in 2 months.
No, the pillowcase was just a good point for what was going on with the situation. And even Shamos had to.
I was saying a rucksack. He says, I don't have a rucksack. And I said, well, do you have sheets, pillowcases, anything like that? He said, yeah, I have a pillowcase. And I said, well, I can make a rucksack out of that. That's all that was, Tom. And I appreciate that you have this big anti-Molly thing going on, and you don't want me at all to be able to
that's not
anything.
Yeah. Look,
it's anti-Molly because
you're
giving its honest opinion.
Just making some kind of appeal to motivation. It's just
it is your motivation. It is your motivation. So just stop.
You're saying that Tom really, really, truly believes that you are better in survival skills, and it's just saying
he
that.
doesn't believe that. No, he doesn't believe I'm able to function probably at all. So
she's saying that I believe that. Well, I'm biased against her because
You are, because there's been many conversations when I've talked about things and you said, I don't believe you can do that. I don't believe you this and that. So it doesn't matter, and fuck off anyway. So yeah, I have not practiced I
Feminism
have
isn't working out right now.
I have
Look,
not
this is
practiced.
just
I
really
can
simple.
finish. I have not practiced my
God.
5 knots that there's basically 5 knots that you need to know in order to survive. I haven't practiced them in a very
That's
long time,
ridiculous.
so I would have to sit there for what? What's ridiculous? The 5 knots? Well,
Yeah, but when you
5
dropped
knots
off on the
needed to
desert island and
survive.
that's you don't there's not
5
like a
different
fucking
knots.
cram
5
session,
different
right?
knots. There's 5 different knots. So
You
I
have a lot
would
of time to practice, though, Tom.
Look,
yeah,
if you
I
want
mean
to say that, look, hey, I'm gonna watch YouTube videos all night, and then like you can drop
that's
me off in the
not what
morning.
I
That's a fucking
said.
different conversation. We're talking
That's
about
not what
now.
I said.
Now.
That's not
What
what I
she said is
said.
that she
You
would
fucking
remember how to do it
muppet.
just by practicing it, Tom, not by going watching videos and gaining the
All
knowledge. She
I
already has the
said,
knowledge. She
Tom,
just needs to
all
brush up
I
on it.
said, Muppet Tom, is that I have not done all 5 of those different knot styles in a very long time. So yeah, I would be fucking screwed. Hope I can figure out how to tie that fucking knot and remember how to do it before the bear eats me. Congratulations.
You guys are crazy. Watch this. No, watch this, dude. So
No,
Molly,
we're not gonna
you
do
get
it.
dropped off on the
Nah.
yeah. So you're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why?
You don't even know how to
This is
build
a
a
big
fire.
meme.
No, I
You
don't.
can't
I
even build a
don't.
fire.
I don't. Not
Do
at
you
all.
believe that,
Not
Tom?
at
Do you
all.
believe
Not
that?
at all.
Absolutely.
Not at
You
all.
think for a second if
No,
she knew
fucking
she
nope.
wouldn't fucking
Nope.
blurt it out faster than fucking
Nope.
Tom,
Don't know how
making
to
a
do it.
fire is
as fast as
extremely
she
easy.
could?
I
Look,
don't know how
any
to
fucking
fucking nope.
time,
I don't know how to
any single
purify
time.
water. I don't know how to do fuck all because you know why it is? Because I'm so fucking tired of this shit, Tom. Just know
Anything that
I
comes
don't
up
know how to do
medical.
anything. Thank God there's a fucking Walmart down an hour from here, or I would be fucking screwed as screwed. Thank you.
We're
Look,
getting
Jovan,
upset
Shamos,
if
for
you
you
no
honestly
reason.
fucking
believe
win.
that,
You fucking win.
Jesus
You
Christ, like I
win.
need to be able
You
to talk here.
fucking you need to know how to shut up. You win. You all win. Yes, I know. Fuck all. I don't know how to do
Just
anything. I'm a
repeating
fucking
yourself.
wallflower. God.
Look, Jovan, anytime there's a
Fucking
medical
damn.
issue that comes up, Molly is literally falling all over herself because she knows the answer, right? You think that if she knew how to build a fire in this
I don't.
situation, which we've been discussing for hours, right? She wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
just fucking tell us how to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's like
Yeah.
one of the first things she would have been taught in her military survival training is
I
how
can
to build a
explain to you the
fire.
process in
Yeah,
3.
So why wouldn't she just tell us, right?
No, because I flunked. I flunked.
You
I
can't
didn't
build
make
a
it.
fire?
I flunked. I flunked survivor training, and they said you can't go overseas now to do anything because you're just a little muppet wallflower.
Oh
I'm
shit!
tired
I
of
didn't
it.
know that.
She's
Oh,
just
my
memeing
fucking
now. See what I
really?
mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
am
look.
memeing now.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Like, for me, trying to be objective about it, like, I'm looking at it like if we were to transfer a different skill over. Like, if someone came up to me and was like, Declan, I can make music better than you, right? And then, like, I gave Shamos's equivalent of, like, the knots by my bed just transferred over into music, and they said, well, I'm not sure, but I'd have to brush up on it. I probably would not believe them. Like, you just have to look at it objectively, right?
Wait, what? Brush up on what?
Well, what I'm getting from
Like
this
Molly's
is that,
saying about the knots is what you saying. You wouldn't believe that she actually knew about the knots.
well, not that she didn't actually know about it, but rather that her state, as far as that ability would not be as advantageous of mine, in virtue of the fact that there may be latent knowledge within her that she would have to brush up on. That all gets factored in when we're talking about who is better at an ability than another person. Like the mere fact that Molly would have to brush up on anything and Shamos wouldn't in that context, I think gives Shamos the win.
Absolutely, he does practice the knots, and when
Well, I
it
don't
comes
think
to that, I
anybody's.
absolutely concede that. I'm not going to I could have sat here and bullshitted and said I can whip them out now. There's 2 knots that I use in my day to day, And yeah, out of the 5 survival knots that we used, I do not use all of them. There's
Right.
2 that I use daily. I admit that. I admit that. I have
Johan.
admitted, and I have also said since the beginning of this, I don't know his survival skills, and I've never once said I'm a better survivalist of him. My contention is that he thinks that I'm gonna fucking curl up like a goddamn cat and die within the first 24 hours. That is my problem with this whole thing.
I did hear that
Never
Molly was
once
just arguing.
I never once said that, and I can see it. Yes, Shamos is stronger than me, and when it comes to that, there are certain things that I will not be able to achieve or overcome just because of brute strength. Yes, so that means that I'm going to have to sit down somewhere and think, okay, I can't move this by sheer strength. I'm not strong enough. Is there another way that I can still
I
achieve
think
the
I
same
did hear
goal?
him make that claim yesterday, though. I think Molly's right about that. Like the claims gotten pushed back so many times, and virtually the
Right.
conversation is ridiculous. Like originally, it was like who would be more apt to survive, and then Shamos like actually bolstered his claim to say something like what Molly's claiming, which is that she couldn't survive at all.
Right. That's what
there's
I've
no
been thought the whole argument was this entire time. Like Molly's not been saying she is like a much better survivor than Shamos. All she's saying is, look, Shamos, if you put me in those situations, I could survive too. And Shamos has been disputing that this entire time.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Like there are 2 claims on the table, and they keep moving back and forth.
Well, he
between
does
both.
every time. Like he gave me the scenario of being on his boat, and I said, "Well, can I put stuff in the rucksack because I don't have a rucksack?" And I said, "Well, do you have something I can make a rucksack out of?" He said, "I said your pillowcase." Wasn't like I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna get you guys because I'm the fucking master pillowcase maker of a rucksack." I simply said, "Shamos, are these not supplies that are available to me?" Because part of survival is using and utilizing what you have available. That's all I was saying.
But see, that's what's going to make this so difficult is that Shamos could like show that he's he's like a fucking savant at knots, right? But that's not going to get him to be able to justify his claim if the claim is that he's better at surviving than Molly is. Because there are other aspects, like Jovan was saying, of surviving that I bet Molly probably would be better at Shamos than. I don't know what that would be, but I'm just saying, like, when you
Planning
take it,
ahead might be one instance.
when you take it in its totality, that's a rough
I mean,
adjustment.
do I think that if Shamos and I were dropped off somewhere, that when he finally made it out, he's going to be in better condition than I am? More than likely, yes.
Well, it's like this.
Will I probably, will I probably at the end of that fucking finish line be crawling? Yes. It's the fact that
Well, that's what I was
survive?
going to say.
Yes.
Is that it's going to depend on the context, right? Like everyone knows Shamos has experience in fishing, right? But drop Shamos off in the middle of the desert. Now drop Molly off in the middle of the desert. Who wins that battle? Well, we know that at least I know from Molly's background, Molly has experience specifically in that sort of biome, right? So there's just so many things to take into consideration here. Like it's not going to be enough for Shamos to just flaunt his knots, and it's not going to be enough for Molly to just flaunt her fucking like her fire making capabilities. It's going to be much more, I think, involved in that.
I'm the best survivor than anyone in this room.
Yeah, it's like things like, do you agree that Shamos made the claim that Molly isn't even better at, well, she's slightly better than the average person at survival. You think that's true?
I don't think Shamos has a way to justify that claim. I wouldn't even know how to justify that claim.
I don't even know how to justify it because I don't know what other people's survivor capabilities are. I don't know. And I've never once said I am this expert survivalist. I'm super Bear Grill. I simply said, yeah, I could make it out. That was it. That's all I said. And then I get these people that are like, well, build this, build a fire, prove you can do this, prove you can do that. Look, it's a simple fact. Yeah. Are my survival skills and my training a bit above what a basic Boy Scout survival training is? Have I been trained through life to be able to deal with certain situations maybe most people do not? Yes. Do I say that I can put all those together and survive situations? Yes. That's all I'm saying. Fuck me.
Yeah, but I think I do have better survival skills than Shamos.
Look,
Though.
Shamos, man, my money's on you, bro.
You probably do, Yuri, especially with a lot of people that are preppers and whatnot. You probably do have a really good survival skills.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what we should do? We should remember that movie where fucking Goldie Hawn or whatever, she gets on the island with that fucking guy, and then she starts off being a stuck up bitch, and then before long she's all submissive, and the guy trains her into being obedient and stuff. Dude, it wouldn't take long for Shamos to reform Molly's behavior and attitude.
You go to bed at night thinking that, Tom.
Wait, hold on.
He can coerce anybody.
He can
Yes.
coerce anyone that has. Yeah, Shamos, if you're there, how would you survive in the desert? How would you get water in the desert?
Yeah, so one of my favorite survivalists actually does all his videos from the Sierra Desert. And so the best way is there's these things called barrel cactus fruits, and there's another one called banana yucca that grow in the desert.
Okay, you got it. There you go. It was a trick question because most people just say they would go get cactuses, right? But what a lot of people don't know about cactuses is that cactuses, there's only a few type of cactuses. There's barrel cactuses and prickly pears that contain
Yeah,
actual
prickly
drinking
pears
water.
are one of the better ones too. Prickly
Yeah.
pears. A lot of this stuff you
Well-
would have knowledge of if you played Fallout New Vegas, for
Right.
example, because Fallout New Vegas, pretty much most of those things, barrel cactus, banana yucca, prickly pear, all of those things exist in the Sierra Desert. And the next thing you're going to want to find, obviously, is shelter. But I mean, a lot of that area has a bunch of rock formations. You just want to find a depression, a small cave, a small depression,
Right.
And
Yeah.
the next thing you want to do is you'd like to build a barrier so that you can keep scorpion and rattle and snakes and shit like that out, And
One of the ways you could do that was for fire, since scorpions and snakes don't like that. So you also want to have a combination of the shelter and the fire, almost as a barrier.
fire is a lot easier to make in the desert because everything is so dry.
Right.
And so, all your bow drill or your
Yo, Molly, hold on a second. You taking notes?
I watch his videos religiously, and so he does all the shit from the desert. So I wouldn't feel super comfortable, but I mean I wouldn't feel lost at sea either.
Right. A lot of people, what they do is because it's pretty good knowledge knowing what cactuses you can get water from. Because a lot of people don't know is that you can't just drink water from any cactus. Because cactuses, the way they get water is that since what they do, they take the CO2, right? But they don't actually create water. They create a substance that's similar to water, but it's very acidic, and so they'd actually be deteriorating their health when they drink.
That's how
water from any-
Shamos would get water, Yuri.
No, it wouldn't. I just said how.
No. There's certain types of cactuses but do produce good drinking water, but you can't just get water from any type of cactus. And he was right. It's the prickly pear, it's the barrel cactus, the banana yucca. Those are all things that you can.
Yeah, and they're super distinct. They're super distinct in how they look. Like, for example, the barrel cactus only sit less than 2 feet off the ground. Or some of them are a bit taller, but most of them flower at about that size, so they're down low. The prickly pear is the type of green that it is like almost like a Christmas green. So it's
Right.
Those stand out against the desert. And then the banana yucca stand about 4.5 or 5 feet tall. You can't fucking miss any of those.
Yeah, you can't just when you go into the desert, you can't just go grab a saguaro cactus and start drinking water from it.
Yeah, and another thing I would do for water is
fucking dunce.
Go ahead.
Saguaro, Yuri.
Oh, sorry about that.
Jesus Christ.
I would also it says there's a lot of rock formation out there. What I would try to do is find one that was angled in such a way that if I ever saw a nice storm cloud rolling over the mountains, that I would try to get something that would run if you find the right spot on the if you say it's raining in the desert and you're along a mountain line or a high a ridge line or a huge rock bluff that comes up, what you'll notice is while it rains, there will be places that the water will naturally flow down, right? Because of the angle of the rock or etc. And you just need to kind of notice one of those spots and be ready to be in place when it happens, and have something that you could use to hold water. In fact, one way that you could hold water is you could hollow out a cactus. What you do is you like take the cactus, cut it from the bottom, and you hold it upside down and treat it as if it's a container. Try to like gut it basically like like you do like a pumpkin, but you don't want to take out so much of the wall that it's not firm. You can scoop down into it, get you enough of it out like that. But I mean, also you got to understand that like I wouldn't try to store water in there for like very long, because the longer the water sits in there, it'll naturally, like, osmosis will take place and it'll soak up a lot of that shit inside the cactus. But I mean, it's something quick that you could do to transport water to another place or something like that.
Right.
Shamos is gonna find one of them infamous water bottle plants.
Bro, I was obsessed for a while about like deserted island survival. Like that's kind of like been my wet dream for a really long time. And so like I've sat down and like kind of studied.
Wet dream, get it?
And also, like, another really good tip is if you're in the desert and you're doing desert survival, is to change your sleep cycle. So you do a lot of your stuff by night or evening hours, and sleep during the day. That'll save you a lot of water loss.
All right, well, I guess that's it. Concludes the discussion. Shamos is victorious. And I guess that's it.